We're here with Steve Clemons from the New America Foundation, who leads the American Strategy Program at the sidelines of the U.S.-Saudi Business Opportunities Conference in Chicago. Steve, what are your impressions of this conference, given that there's 1,000 people here talking about U.S.-Saudi business opportunities, including about 200 Saudis who came over?
Well, I think anybody that sees this would say this conference is fantastic, both in the scale of the size, the number of people you have here, but the quality of conversations. Yesterday I had the privilege of moderating a panel on education, and we had people that were familiar with K through 12 as well as upper-end education. We had Princess Lulu Al Faisal, who is the vice chairman of a major women's university that isn't often known by many Americans, being their Efat University in Jeddah. And the quality of conversation we had was excellent, and I think the excitement here that I think is, I would love to see more nationally done, that what we saw in Chicago, the ever-present in and out presence of the mayor here, Richard Daley, and his I guess his brother, I think it's Bill Daley is his brother, are both here. And so the embrace in Chicago of U.S.-Saudi stuff writ large, business, discussions of political affairs, discussion of cultural affairs, as we saw last night, has all been really impressive.
Now you've also led a conference last year in Washington on U.S.-Saudi relations. How would you characterize where we are in recovering from what many people saw as a great deal of friction after 9/11?
Well, I did last year when we had this. We had several hundred people, about 400 people at a conference, and the reason that I held that conference was very exciting, and I think it was hugely successful, was to drag a key strategic relationship with the United States out of the closet and have a discussion about it much more in public. And I think that we see this second year, you get outside of D.C., there's huge interest, business and whatnot and otherwise, and I think it's time for Washington to catch up and realize that there's more maturity in able to handle, you know, the good aspects of the relationship as well as the warts in the relationship in a much better way. I think Washington has come a bit further, a step further. We see a return at visa levels and the numbers of Saudis educated and studying in the United States to levels far higher than were the case before 9/11. So in a lot of ways, a lot of the damage that was done, we're back to even, and I think now we're beginning to see consolidation and an ability to move beyond some of the old wounds.
There's still a lot of stereotypes associated with Saudi Arabia, and you've become more familiar over the years. What would you tell Americans who may not have the same depth of understanding about Saudi Arabia that you do, of what Saudis are really about, and a little insight into what you found out about Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think Saudi Arabia is, first of all, it's a complex country. I went over, and I was mentioning on the program on education yesterday, I really was surprised to see the scale and level of investment that Saudi Arabia is making in very advanced technology, nanotechnology, equipping some of its cities with real world-class talent. They have brought in the former president of the National University of Singapore to lead one of their major new economic city universities called KAUST. And I think that the issue is that there's a complexity, a diversity, more liberalism than I originally expected inside Saudi Arabia than people think. We had the U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia who made that case much more compelling. I probably would have been more cautious than he was last night. But you clearly see stuff that moves way, way beyond the biases that I think we're inculcated with here in the United States. And I think it's open to keep an open mind. The Saudis are very, very pragmatic. And what also is not known about them is that they're a fundamentally significant strategic ally of the United States that is helping us behind the scenes in Pakistan, that is helping us behind the scenes in many places of the world, helping to affect the calculations that other world leaders are making and what they do with us. So they're a real partner, and I'm not afraid to say that. I think a lot of more people should be embracing that reality as well.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.